is that for this tournament, Harry Kane has really stepped up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one thing that is for sure is that Sweden will deal with Harry Kane to the last minute.
Exactly.
So who will turn up for England?
For England,
they need
yeah.
a leader. Remember, this is a very young team, and they need a leader on the pitch. So Kane is the captain. And if Kane is marked out of the match, who will step up?
else?
That's the biggest question.
Talking about the same, do you think the main undoing of England, the Three Lions, has been lack of number 10 and probably lack of Jack Wilshere going to the World Cup? Because England has lacked someone like Eden Hazard, like Luka Modric, the Croatian playmaker, like Felipe Coutinho, that number 10 who can, rise to the occasion and partner with Kane up front and probably bang in goals. Do you think that has also been the main undoing, considering that Colombian game which they had to struggle until penalty shootouts?
I think their main undoing has been a failure to get the best out of Dele Alli. Because remember, when we see Kane, we see Dele Alli. Is the reason behind Kane's brilliant form at Tottenham Hotspur alongside Eriksen. So what Southgate has been trying to do is present a scenario similar to what happens at Tottenham Hotspur. But remember, there's no Eriksen in this squad. There's no player with such qualities as Eriksen. Remember, he's a very creative player, the Danish playmaker. He's very creative, and he's a player who likes drifting deep into his own half. So you tend to forget about him, and that is where now Dele Alli comes in, because he's very mobile and he's a very clever player. He knows how to run into those spaces, and Eriksen is always there to pick him out. But in this English side, Jesse Lingard, he has been playing as an offensive player, as a winger for Manchester United. Rarely has he played as a number 10. So in this team, he's expected to perform that number 10 role against alongside Dele Alli. So it becomes very difficult to create those chances for Harry Kane, and that has been their major undoing.
I think also it's because Gareth Southgate has set them in such a way that they do not need a number 10 role. Because when you look at their side, you look at 3 defenders at the back, then 2 full backs on the side, but at the center there you have got Loftus-Cheek, who is, people think that is a quiet player, but is having a lot of impacts in the team. Is balancing between the midfield, the attack and defense, and is real, people are saying is playing a Lampard style of game. And Loftus-Cheek has been a very good spine for the English side. He might not sparkle to the way the other guys have sparkled, but you realize that Gareth Southgate has trusted him in most of these matches, and there's one key player who might turn things around today.
James Magai, do you think it's high time now Gareth Southgate starts either Marcus Rashford in place of Raheem Sterling, who's not been convincing during the previous games, and probably, if possible, he can also partner Jamie Vardy, Harry Kane, forward line pair? What do you make of that kind of formation?
I think during the group stages, Raheem Sterling was awful, but against Colombia, I saw flashes of his club form. I hope today he'll be better, but my main concern is Dele Alli. He looks like a player carrying an injury,
yes,
and not really telling the coach to not really giving up his position. That is my main worry. If Ali can perform 100%, and if Sterling can also replicate his showing against Colombia, then England will be unplayable.
And then Sweden have to take care of the psychological impact that the English players come with to the game. So what they did against Colombia, they know how to rattle these players. So Sweden have to be really, really cautious and disciplined against them, because they rattle you once, they have taken over the game.
And by the way, on behalf of the Lion Supporters Club in Kenya, I'm really looking forward to that successful petition by Colombia. And I'm reliably informed it's gotten to 300,000 for seeking for a replay against England. And I'm sure in case it happens, they will be beaten home and square. Straight into 9 p.m. fixture, Russia against Croatia. Luka Modric has been the pillar.
That's the man. That's the man to watch in this fixture. Okay, Russia have been okay, fine. Let me say they have been fine, but I think Croatia will have too much for them. That man Luka Modric in that midfield doing his thing. Russia at home, yes, of course we don't deny that. Golovin has been doing well in this campaign, but maybe I think the home supporters have been the 12th man for them. But today, Croatia are very disciplined. Defensively, going forward, they are very, very fine. So I think it will be the end of the road for the hosts tonight.
James, it's been said that any team can win this World Cup because even when the tournament was kicking off, they were favorites. Then they were average teams, which were also tipped teams like Croatia and Belgium. But Croatia against Denmark almost on the brink of getting eliminated, and so is Belgium against Japan. That's why there is a talk of any team can win the championship. But now going into this 9 p.m. fixture, Croatia against host Russia and Vladimir Putin, I'm told he will be on the stands to watch the boys take on Croatia. What are you looking forward to?
Well, the smaller teams set out to frustrate the favorites in this tournament.
Yes.
And they managed to do so in the opening matches. And an underpass Spain fell for that trick against Russia. But I think the Russians' race is over tonight. And Putin will have to make do with that last 8 appearance. Croatia have one of the most talented squads.
Yes.
And going by Russia's progression, Croatia must have learnt a lot. I don't think they're going to make the same mistakes the previous teams made against Russia. I think the run is over tonight.
Petit, do you think the blend and gel of Croatian players has been quite superb? Mario Mandzukic up front, Ivan Perisic, Luka Modric at the middle pack of the team. What do you make of their tactical formation going into this fixture where they will be playing Russia and so under penalty against Spain and eliminating 20-time champions, and they have to be cautious against playing a team that is enjoying the support of home fans as a 12th player?
Well, home advantage has really been a major factor towards Russia's progression in this tournament. They are not in the quarters by chance. They have eliminated one of the best teams, that is Spain. But what did they do in that round of 16 fixture? They let Spain have entire possession and they sat back. They had a game plan. They knew that they've prepared very well for penalties. And in the penalty shootout, you saw Igor Akinfeev saving 2 penalties and ensuring Russia sealed a spot in the last 8. But that's the biggest mistake that they'll do today against Croatia, because in that Croatian side you have one of the most creative midfielders in Europe at the moment, that is Luka Modric, and alongside him we have Ivan Rakitic, another very clever player. So what the main difference between Croatia and Spain is that Croatia are more direct in terms of attack. The youngster Rebic has been a revelation in this tournament. I've heard you talked about Mbappe, but you've not talked about Rebic, who has been a big revelation in this tournament. Ivan Perisic coming from a very good season with Inter Milan, and also Mario Mandzukic, one of the best centre forwards in the world. So I expect a very direct game from Croatia. They learned a lesson in the previous match against Denmark that, hey, we are one of the favorites at the moment, but we are still not there. We are still not the finished product. So expect a very direct match from Croatia. They'll take the game to Russia and look to seal it very early. So my bet is that Croatia will take a very early lead in the first half, and they might get a goal or 2 in the second half. I'll agree with the other pundits that it's clearly the end of the road for Russia.
Even the Russians themselves have actually come out and said, we have done our best. We did not see ourselves getting to this level. Yeah, getting to this level. I think even the home support is there, yes, but even the Russian people themselves are like, yeah, we have done our best. Russia, yes, they have good players in them. Akinfeev, the Golovin, as new one, is very good at them. But the Croatian players are superior when it comes to experience, and then they play in the best leagues in the world. They have players in Italy, they have players in Spain, they have players in England, and a player like Luka Modric, he's in his best prime. Look at what he has done with Real Madrid. Look at the way he's holding the Russian team. You can see a leader in the Russian team. even the way they come out, the way they play, you can say that he is holding that team together. And for me, I bet Croatia might be in the final.
We wind up on the top scoring contention, and quite unfortunate, James Rodriguez, a man who was the top scorer for 2014 edition, didn't manage to score a goal during this championship because of an injury, and we saw him from the stands really, looking disappointed after England eliminated Colombia at the round of 16. Who do you think will make it as far as the top scoring chart is concerned? Harry Kane has 6 goals though. Some of them are penalties. Romelu Lukaku has 4. He's failed to score in his previous 2 fixtures. But big boys have already exited the championship. Do you think it's for Harry Kane to lose?
Yeah, Kane I think is gone with it. Trust me, in this championship, to score those 2 goals for one individual, it will. We are in the quarters. We are going to the semis. So I think for Kane, if maybe he gets 1 tonight, this afternoon, then I think he will be gone with it. I don't think there is one. No one will catch him.
James?
Yeah, Ken is a favorite, leading Golden Boot contender, and the next pursuer is Romelu Lukaku, who has to step up against France. and if they are lucky to get to the finals, then whoever they will meet there. But tell me how easy it would be to score more than 1 against France and in the subsequent games. So to me, Kane has already 1 hand on the Golden Boot.
Do you think Romelu Lukaku failed to capitalize on their previous 2 games against Japan and against Brazil yesterday to score and probably get to the level of Harry Kane? And what do you make of Romelu Lukaku's brilliance? Of course, he's been hailed, he's been praised, and the goal that Nacer Chadli scored against Japan, we saw Romelu Lukaku making something that many people didn't expect from him. Was it a fluke or deliberate? Is he just beastie, or is also witty upstairs?
I think Romelu Lukaku, he's shown the world that he's not just a player who can score. He's a player who can as well assist, and I really like that aspect of his game, because it's not something that he's shown at United throughout the season, but in the World Cup we've seen another side of his game, being played as a decoy striker, being played out wide, and accepting that role. Most strikers will not welcome that, but remember, this is a team game. We all want to win and progress further. Adding the World Cup to your list of accolades is always a big plus to any player. But does he still stand a chance to win the Golden Boot? I think yes. France have not been really convincing defensively, and I fancy Lukaku getting a goal against France, because there are 2 centre halves, Umtiti and Rafael Varane. Varane is very weak in the air, and also is the type of defender who doesn't like a striker who bullies him around, and that's the kind of striker that's the kind of play he should expect against Lukaku. So I think he still has a chance, maybe get 1 or 2, and if Belgium get a penalty, then they should give it to him to at least keep up pace with Kane. Because I think that's what Kane has done.
One thing is, as Sam has brought it out, is there's a team game, but it's also a cup competition. So when you get into a cup competition, the Golden Boot does not really matter. And if you have gone that side and your players can work for you to get the goals, it's good for you. But you look at Belgium, they are not really trying to make it a Lukaku goal spree. It's all about who has the best chance to score. And even if it's England, you'll find that Harry Kane has scored the goals, yes, but the moment he has that ball and he sees Rashford, who has not scored a goal, he'll give him that chance to score, because at the end of the day, you need the win.
But who said penalties are easy to score? Messi is.
Ask Messi and Ronaldo.
Who said penalties are
And
easy to score?
1994 also with Italian case.
Yeah. Actually, penalties, especially when you are under pressure, man, they are really tricky. Anyway, he has
an upper hand of winning the top scoring chart. Of course,
that's true.
This has been the touchline every Saturday, 1 to 3. We're doing massive coverage of sporting disciplines across the board, and of course with focus on the ongoing FIFA World Cup in Russia. Thanks, gentlemen, for making time and come discuss and give you a perspective as far as the championship is concerned. For English supporters like myself and James, how I wish that you wish us all the best. Of course, it's coming home. That is the hashtag. Playing against Sweden at 5 p.m. Then Russia hosts, take on Croatia at 9 p.m. East African time. This is the Touchline. Let's continue with the conversation. Hashtag Touchline Y254 and FIFA World Cup on Y254, and dissect about the expectations as far as semi-final and even final stage is concerned. It's always a pleasure having you on board. Enjoy and have a sporty weekend.